The Inner Work by Rumi, translated by Kabir Helminski. Sit with your friends, don't go back to sleep. Don't sink like a fish to the bottom of the sea. Surge like an ocean, don't scatter yourself like a storm. Life's waters flow from darkness. Search the darkness, don't run from it. Night travelers are full of light, and you are too. Don't leave this companionship. Be a wakeful candle in a golden dish. Don't slip into dirt like quicksilver. The moon appears for night travelers. Be watchful when the moon is full. Namaste. Happy Diwali.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour.
Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our great covenant.
All the colors, yes, the colors we see in the springtime with all of its flowers. All the colors, when the sunlight
Diwali. Diwali or Deepavali means a string of lights. It is celebrated by Hindus all around the world and marks the beginning of the new year and historically symbolizes the victory of good over evil and celebrates light and life on both a community and personal level. On the one hand, it is time to rejoice and feast with friends and family. Homes are cleaned and decorated with bright earthen lamps in every corner, and delicious meals are prepared and shared with all. Old accounts are closed and arguments are settled. On a more personal level, however, Diwali is a time to turn inward and light the lamps of knowledge and truth in our hearts and minds so that we can dispel the forces of darkness and ignorance within us and allow our innate brilliance and goodness to shine forth. Goddess Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth, is the principal deity associated with this festival. During Diwali, we ask for her assistance in cultivating and accumulating spiritual wealth, such as compassion, forgiveness, and loving kindness. Diwali is a time to reflect on and evaluate our thoughts, words, and actions over the past year. It is a time to acknowledge and better be understanding of our prejudices, negative behaviors, and bad habits so that we may begin the process of transforming ourselves. It is a time to discover how we can be more loving, kind, peaceful, respectful, and skillful towards ourselves and others. And since all wealth, be it material or spiritual, should be shared with others who are less fortunate, Diwali is a time to reflect on the various ways we can assist each other and shine our light out into the world. Just as the flame of a lamp always points upward, Diwali is most importantly a time to celebrate and appreciate life and to look forward to the coming year with a renewed sense of purpose and passion. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, Diwali is a reminder and an opportunity to be the change you want to see in the world.
The story I have to share with you today is adapted from a picture book we have right here in our Children's Diversity and Justice Library collection. It's by Thrudi Umrigar and it's called Benny's Diwali, and it starts with a kid named Benny who woke up one morning excited but nervous because it was her day to share about Diwali, the Festival of Lights. Her class was learning about different celebrations, and so her teacher, Mr. Boomer, had asked her to talk about Diwali as her very favorite holiday that her family celebrated, and she hoped that everything would go the way that she had planned. So that morning, she started getting ready for school, and she was excited to wear her new outfit that she had gotten for Diwali, and also to see her mom in her beautiful new sari. Because everybody had gone shopping for Diwali, and kids got new clothes and toys, parents bought each other gifts, sometimes jewelry or other things, and friends exchanged gift baskets filled with cakes and sweets and nuts and other yummy things to eat. So Benny, when she was dressed and wearing her new clothes, she ran downstairs for breakfast, and this morning, instead of her usual breakfast of cereal, her mom and dad had a treat for her, and it was warm jalebis, warm orange discs of sweetness that melted in her mouth when she bit into them, and soft, milky pedas that crumbled in her mouth and made her lick her lips. Have you ever eaten something really sweet and yummy and it made you want to lick your lips? Her dad then packed the rest for her class, and as he did, he said to her, "May the words you speak today be as sweet as jalebis and as soft as pedas." And then Benny's mom drove her to school. And as she was being dropped off, her mom said to her, "Remember to tell them about the oil lamps. Good luck, you'll do great." I wonder if you have ever had a time in your life that you can think of when you were excited about something but really nervous too. So after their morning circle time in her class, it was her turn to go. Mr. Boomer called her name, but when she stood up in front of her class, a terrible thing started to happen. Suddenly she felt so shy and scared. And you know what happened? Her mind went in completely blank. That might have happened to some of us before. So Benny wanted to share about her favorite holiday. She really did, but she couldn't find the words. But then Mr. Boomer put a kind hand on her shoulder and said, "Take a deep breath. I know you can do this." Do you have somebody who reassures you when you're not sure that you can do something that's hard? And then Benny remembered what her mom had said to her and what her mom had told her about the lamps, because to celebrate Diwali, people lit little oil lamps called diyas and put them by their front doors to guide good luck into their homes and chase away the darkness. And all over the world, Diwali marked the victory of goodness and light. And so then Benny knew what to say. She said to her class, "Diwali is the festival of lights. It is a Hindu holiday that lasts 5 days, and it celebrates the victory of goodness and hope." And then she told them about the fireworks that went off during Diwali, how they whistled through the air and burst like stars in the night sky. And she described the sparklers that her dad lit in their yard and how she liked to make figure eights with them, and the golden sparks opening like a flower as she did so. And then the class gathered around Mr. Boomer's desk as Benny handed him a tiny clay diya, and he lit it. And the small flickering light looked so pretty that all the children oohed and awed. And Benny told them that if on Diwali you looked down from an airplane above a city where many, many people were celebrating Diwali, you would see the city shine like a diamond, the light shimmering everywhere you looked. Diwali really is a magical time for children who celebrate it everywhere. And then Benny had one more thing to show her class. The best thing of all, she thought. She took out bags of colored powder. They were red and blue and yellow and purple and green and orange. And she sprinkled them onto the floor. First, she drew a design with the powdered chalk, and then she used it to write a message that said, "Happy Diwali." And the children started clapping. And Benny went to her desk, and now finally out came the box of pedas and jalebis, one for every student in her class and for her teacher too. And they all ate every last crumb of the sweets, and they smacked their lips, and they enjoyed them so much. And then Mr. Boomer leaned over to Benny and said quietly to her, "Great job." And she grinned from ear to ear. So that day when Benny walked home, she celebrated her very own victory of goodness and light. The spirit of Diwali was real. And the story of the oil lamps had chased away her own fears. And perhaps this is why everyone loved Diwali, this beautiful festival of lights.
These are the words of Rabindranath Tagore. A lamp can only light another lamp when it continues to burn in its own flame. These are the words of Rumi. Does anyone write something on a place that has already been written over? Or plant a sapling where one already grows? No, he seeks a blank piece of paper and sows the seed where none has not yet been sown. Sister, be bare earth, be a clean piece of paper, untouched by writing, that you may be ennobled by the pen of revelation, so that the gracious one may sow seed within you.
I want to take a moment to say thanks to the person who is responsible for starting the tradition of an annual Diwali service, and that is Nathan Packey, who has helped build ties between the Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church and the Hindu Community Center, not only in this worship service, but also through trips to the Hindu Community Center, and also by the fact that our church hosts Indian classical music concerts. So this music that you're about to hear is Nathan Packey's niece. And it's a musical meditation, so the song is not meant to be listened to in a rushed way in a kind of American Top 40 3-minute max. This is a musical meditation, so I invite you to center down and to relax and welcome in the sounds of Indian classical music to help you become calm and centered.
Hello, everyone. I am practicing with new equipment, so hopefully the bright light that is shining in my face is also a bright light shining in your heart and your spirit. We have some sad news that people who have injured their legs, in fact broken them, are in the process of healing, and I ask you to send out healing thoughts and blessings to people so that they know the light within us is focused on them for their swift healing. And in fact, one member is doing much better who broke his leg. Joy, Carm has sent us coupons for coats. So if you or anyone you know needs a coat, please contact me. Also, we have other Carms cards that can be used to purchase different things at the store. So if you need utensils, bedding, clothes, please know that we have a few cards that we can use to help you. Finally, I want to raise up the fact that there are people in nursing homes who need to be visited, and if you are interested in that type of ministry, please contact me and I will assist you in arranging a time and a date. I'd like to now ask you to join me in prayer. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity to join today together and to remember that we are still a community, a congregation of love, because love is our mission, our mandate, and that I thank you that you give us people interested in maintaining that connection and so that they know that people are not alone. I ask you to bless the world in this time of uncertainty and for us to remember that peace comes from within, and our job is to share the peace that we have with others so that we spread throughout the world, the community, Knoxville, that peace is upon us and that we will continue to be a community to welcome all, no matter where, when, or what you've been through. It doesn't matter what the election said or what we have to look forward in the future. Our peace and our love will direct and guide our hearts. And in the end, Lord, I ask that you grant us the civility we need, the love we need, the comfort we need, and the joy we need to go forward and be fruitful in our hopes of growing this world into a better place. Amen. Remember, joy.
Lead kindly light amid encircling gloom. Lead thou me, Lord. The night is dark and I am far from home. Lead thou me on. Keep thou my feet. I do not ask to see the distant sea, one step
Good morning. Welcome to TVUUC. My name is Claudia Presley, and I'm the Director of Administration. Today is a Generosity Sunday. That means that all contributions that come in that are not marked as a pledge go to the General Operating Fund of TVUUC. The way you can give is to go to tvuuc.org/give, or you can text give to the number 73256, type in TVUUC and the amount that you would like to give. Once again, thanks for joining us and have a blessed day.
I am light, I am light. 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 I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I am not mistakes that I have made, or any other things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dreams I've left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light. I am 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 light. Yeah. I am light. I am light. I am divinity divine. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Happy Diwali, everyone, the Hindu Festival of Lights. A few years ago, Psychology Today, the magazine, printed an article called How to Deal with an Office Diva. Now, an office diva is someone who feels like they need to be the center of attention all the time, need to outdo or outshine everyone else in the room. For the record, a diva may be female, but also might be male or might be non-binary. Young people have a word for divas. They say they are extra, as in they need extra care, extra attention, extra pampering. So people will say, that person is extra. Now, I went to a Quaker theology school, Earlham School of Religion, and I have to be honest that Quakers did not prepare me very well for divas. The Quakers say that the light of God shines in every person, but not so brightly, not quite that bright. There is a very egalitarian ethos to the Quaker tradition. There is a way that I honor the light in you by not trying to outdo or trying to outshine you or compete with you in any way. I honor the light in you by trying to, there's sort of a leveling, being in connected and egalitarian ways, and sort of ways that sort of keep everyone humble. Needless to say, such a tradition is not likely to produce someone like Lady Gaga or Beyonce. So I studied for ministry at a Quaker school, but I've always served Unitarian Universalist congregations. In our faith, we always encourage everyone to let their light shine. Here's why: because under the right conditions, a diva can help us all feel more alive. A diva can help all of us to let our light shine. That bright, overpowering light of a diva can help us all. In a Unitarian church, not all of us have a very good dimmer switch. And a diva can remind us that maybe we have dimmed our light a little too long and for all the wrong reasons, that we need to turn up that light. Now, the mystic and writer Marianne Williamson once wrote, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant? Who am I to be gorgeous? Who am I to be talented or fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. Your playing small does not serve the world." The word diva has often been used as a put-down. However, this morning I want us to reclaim the world. Well, I want us to reclaim that word as we celebrate the Hindu Festival of Lights. Let us be mindful that the light that shines in you and the light that shines in me may have been dimmed for far too long. And indeed, maybe what we need to do is turn it up and let our light shine brighter in order to illuminate everything. At the risk of too much alliteration this morning, I am hoping that we will put the divine into diva for Diwali. The word diva comes from the Sanskrit word deva. And a deva is someone who might have human characteristics, but partakes more of the divine, someone who has godlike qualities, supersized powers and ability. A deva is someone who is worthy of worship and veneration and praise. So you can see how the word diva, derived from deva, might be a word that is used to apply to rock stars and pop singers, people who sing before adoring crowds, taking on a contemporary meaning and an understanding of the word diva. Now, I want us to talk about divas so that they help us understand a little bit more about the nature of the divine, because that is what a diva is, someone through whom divine light shines. For instance, if you travel to Rome and you go to the Sistine Chapel and you look up on the roof, you're likely to see a picture of God who is an old man with a white beard. Now, this image of God doesn't come from the Jewish tradition, and it doesn't even come from the Christian tradition. In the Jewish tradition, there are no images of God. You don't make statues, you don't paint paintings, you don't create sculpture or imagery or graven images of any kind. And certainly Jesus never painted a picture of God or made a sculpture or a statue of God. So these are not Jewish or Christian ideas. So when you look up at the top of the Sistine Chapel, you know who you see? You see the Greek god Zeus, the senior elder of the Greek mythology, the Greek pantheon of gods. And the Greek pantheon of gods included many goddesses like Artemis and Athena and Aphrodite. And that's just the A's. If you take Greek mythology and Hindu mythology and the mythology of all the great world religions, there are many goddesses for every letter in the alphabet. So this morning, I want us to take a moment to contemplate the goddesses that are in the Hindu tradition, because they are images of what the divine light looks like when it takes human forms. And we are focusing on goddesses because it is often women who are asked to turn the dimmer switch down low. It is often women who are told to not let their light shine quite so brightly. So we want to look at Hindu mythology and study the Devas so that we might better understand our own inner diva. So if the people who designed the Sistine Chapel could take an image of God from Greek mythology, so we can learn from the mythology of all the world's religions. So let's talk about some of the goddesses this morning. The goddess most associated with the celebration of Diwali is Lakshmi. As Rup Tiguda said earlier, she is the goddess of both inner and outer wealth. She often is pictured around riches. She's wearing jewels and a crown and seems to have an abundance of things. But she's also extending her hand with coins in it, an act of generosity. So she is associated with all the spiritual values that come with material wealth, the idea that you have to have something before you can share it with others. You have to be able to possess a small light in order to shine light in the world. So she reminds us to be generous. The next goddess we have is Saraswati, often pictured playing a musical instrument. Saraswati might be seen as the goddess of a good liberal education. She's the goddess of wisdom, knowledge, speech, music, and the arts. Now, just down the road from Knoxville, there's a town called Athens, Tennessee, which is named after a Greek goddess, Athena, the goddess of wisdom. And there in 1857, Tennessee Wesleyan was founded, and it was then known as Athens Female College. So in both Western and Eastern mythology, the goddess wants all of us to learn. In a time of rampant gender discrimination, Athens Female College was founded. So the goddess wants all of us to learn, all of us to grow, all of us to blossom and flourish. If we have knowledge, then we can be a better service to others. If we have talent, we can be a better service to others. If we can cultivate our own light, then we will be able to shine brightly to show the way for others. Another goddess who's very intimidating is this goddess, Kali, who is often pictured with a necklace of skulls around her neck, burnishing weapons of various kinds, a sword. She's seen as the goddess of war and sexuality, so she has a very kind of intimidating presence. But she's often, sometimes, or on some occasions, she's depicted with a sword in one hand and nursing a baby at her breast with the other. So she is that force that has to destroy old life so that new life can flourish. The old order must pass away before a new order can be born. So she can be terrifying, but she's absolutely necessary for new things to come into being. Next, we have the goddess Durga, who's very courageous, often pictured riding on the back of a lion. And she is similar to Kali, kind of a warrior, but instead of the destroyer that makes way for new life, she is the protector of life. She is the defender of the vulnerable. She is very courageous and brave, like a mother is, to protect her own children. Her motivation is love. It's love and the desire to eliminate suffering. If Kali is offense, then Durga is defense. She is there to defend the innocent, to defend the helpless. And she has that strong mother light that wants to protect the light of others from being extinguished. She wants to protect your light from being extinguished. And this is a very noble impulse, which is just another reminder of why we need to put the divine back into Diva. I want you to know that before I started filming this segment, I had to tell Catherine if she could keep the noise down in her office next door. What can I say? I'm a little bit of a diva. I'm a little bit extra. If you've ever been to a 12-step meeting, Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or some other 12-step recovery group, you'll know that the first step is to admit we are powerless over our addiction, whatever it might be. We are powerless and our lives have become unmanageable. Well, this week I was talking to someone who entered into recovery as a young woman when she was a teenage girl, and she said she had a very hard time with that first step because so often society tries to keep young women powerless. So think about it. Maybe the first step for a young woman is not to admit powerlessness, but to realize that she is powerful beyond all measure. Now, I have a lot of respect for 12-step recovery programs, and I know a lot of people whose lives have been changed and saved by those programs. But I'm also aware that the language was crafted by middle-aged men, and maybe when you have a lot of power and privilege, admitting powerlessness is a step towards spiritual growth. But if you're a young woman, or even just a young teenager, or you're a person of color, or a member of the LGBT community, or some other marginalized group in society, maybe the first step is to reclaim power. To say, as India Ari says, I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. So what I did not learn about divas in theology school, I did learn from someone who served as our ministerial intern many years ago, the Reverend Duncan Teague, who now serves a congregation in the West End of Atlanta. He's a self-described diva. He's taken a word that some people use as a put-down and reclaimed as an affirmation. And if you go to his congregation, Abundant Love, in the West End of Atlanta, at some point in the service you will hear people sing, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Hide it under a bushel? No, I'm going to let it shine. Won't let anyone it out. I'm going to let it shine. I am light." In Hinduism, there is a kirtan, is a way of singing where the leader sings out a line and then people sing back. And we're about to do a kirtan together. And it's repetitive. Someone sings, the group sings back, and it sort of takes you to that place that conceivably it goes around circularly, no beginning, no end, in a repetitive moment. This particular kirtan makes an affirmation about Lakshmi, the goddess of Diwali, but also Kali, who is also important goddess. and Saraswati and Durga. And so what we're doing is invoking the powers of wisdom and knowledge, the powers of creativity, the powers of generosity that are resident within each one of us. So the leader will sing out a line and we are invited to sing back, and I hope you will sing along. You may not have a voice like Lady Gaga, and you may not have a stage presence like Beyonce, but every single one of us has a voice. Every one of us has a voice, and every one of us can help put the divine back into diva.
He Mahalakshmi, He Saraswati, He Matakali, Jagatambi Jijima, Jagatambi Jijima. He Mahalakshmi, He Saraswati, He Matakali, Jagatambi Jijima, Jagatambi Jijima. Mahalakshmi, He Saraswati, He Matakali, Jagatambi Jijima, Jagatambi Jijima. He Mahalakshmi, He Saraswati, He Matakali, Jagatambi Jijima, Jagatambi Jijima. Mahalakshmi, He Saraswati, He Matakali, Jagatambi Jijima, Jagatambi Jijima. He Mahalakshmi, He Saraswati, He Matakali, Jagatambi Jijima, Jagatambi Jijima. Hey Ma Durga, Hey Ma Durga, Jagatambi Jijima. Hey Ma Durga, Hey Ma Durga, Hey Ma Durga, Jagatambi Jijima. Hey Ma Durga, Hey Ma Durga, Hey Ma Durga, Jagatambi Jijima. Hey Ma Durga, Hey Ma Durga, Hey Ma Durga, Jagatambi Jijima. Hey Mahalakshmi, Hey Saraswati, Hey Matakali, Jagatambi Jijima, Jagatambi Jijima. Hey Mahalakshmi, Hey Saraswati, Hey Matakali, Jagatambi Jijima, Jagatambi Jijima. Hey Mahalakshmi, Hey Saraswati, Hey Matakali, Jagatambi Jijima, Jagatambi Jijima. Hey Mahalakshmi, Hey Saraswati, Hey Matakali, Jagatambi Jijima, Jagatambi Jijima. Jijima, Jima Mama, Jima Mama, Jima Mama. Hey Mahalakshmi, Hey Saraswati, Hey Matakali, Jagatambi Jijima, Jagatambi Jijima. Hey Mahalakshmi, Hey Saraswati, Hey Matakali, Jagatambi Jijima, Jagatambi Jijima.
For today's closing words, I will be reading a poem by Melanie Davis. This is called A Spark of Hope. If ever there were a time for a candle in the darkness, this would be it. Using a spark of hope, kindle the flame of love, ignite the light of peace, and feed the flame of justice.
Let people living in all lands declare that fear and hate are gone. Rise above differences and stand in love and understanding one.
As you log off your computers and go out into the world, I invite you to send a card or an email or a text message to a friend. Find ways to stay connected in this time of social distance. Goodbye. Have a good week.
E Mahalakshmi, E Saraswati, E Matakali, Jagatambi Jiji Ma. Jagatambi Jiji Ma. E Mahalakshmi, E Saraswati, E Matakali, Jagatambi Jiji Ma. Jagatambi Jiji Ma. E Mahalakshmi,